more people because there are a lot registered. But welcome. Well, we can just start now. So, my name is Tahir Catton. I am the one who's been sending you guys emails throughout the last month or so, and I am the secretary for NSBE this year. So I'm not technically part of this webinar. That's why we have all these lovely panelists here to talk about our organizations, the National Society of Black Engineers and the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the question box, and we will try and get to all of them before the end of the webinar. But I will let Alexis start first and make sure everyone else mute your mics.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexis Sandia. I'm the class of 2023. My major is mechanical engineer, and I'm from Queens, New York. Yeah. Nice to meet everybody.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. Welcome. My name is Brandon Caballero. I just recently graduated my bachelor's in computer and systems engineering. And now I'm currently in the co-term program here at RPI, studying ITWS with a concentration in software engineering. I am from Westchester, New York, specifically White Plains. And the position I'm currently in SHPE is that I'm a mentorship chair. So I hope to see you guys as mentees in the fall.
Hi, everybody. My name is Galileo Vera. I am an incoming junior or class of 2022. I represent in this panel SHPE. I used to be the vice president, and I am currently now one of the co-directors for the NSBE SHPE Career Fair. I am majoring in electrical engineering, and I am originally from Houston, Texas.
Great. Happy to see you guys today and speak with you. My name is Jalen Edmonds, class of 22, majoring in Design Innovation Society, duo with mechanical engineering. My hometown is Bridgeport, Connecticut. I currently live in Stratford. Last year, I was the president of National Society of Black Engineers here at RPI. Currently, I am the Upstate New York Zone Chair for NSBE and the co-director understudy for the Career Fair.
What's up, guys? I'm a Mood, class of 21, so I'm rising senior. I'm studying electrical engineering, and my hometown is Alexandria, Virginia, so DMV.
So first question for everyone is going to be, how did you or why did you join your organization? And we can go down the slide list again.
All right. So I forgot to mention earlier, I'm a part of SHPE. Recently I was just a freshman last year. And I found out about SHPE through a friend, and we actually attended this big club event at the start of the year, which you guys might or might not have. But there was a booth with people from SHPE, and they were handing out food and stuff, and I was interested. So I went and spoke to people, and then they told me how they have a lot of professional opportunities, and it's just an environment for people to get together and just learn more about the professional world as a Hispanic. So that's how I found out about it, and that's how I joined.
Cool. For me, from my experience, I didn't join SHPE till I was a sophomore, and I found out about SHPE through my mom because she knew people who was part of the professional New York chapter in New York City, and she told me about SHPE that RPI had a chapter. And so I go, okay, cool. And I did some research through it, and I learned about cool opportunities that I could be part of and perhaps receive as well. And so sophomore year, fall semester, I decided to join to attend the first GBM, and I had a ton of fun. We do a lot of Sometimes we do games and there's food there, and then cool professional skills and such. And they also help us prepare for career fair and such. So I thought it would be a cool organization to join, and actually made a lot of good friends with them, and I'm glad I'm part of it.
Yeah, I actually had a very similar experience with SHPE. It was also my mom, but since I'm a first generation student, my mom, she went to the parent orientation and I went to the student orientation, so I just kind of had to let her and just hope that there was a translator for her. And luckily there was. It was actually the SHPE president at the time, and my mom kept talking to me about SHPE for the next couple of weeks, and she was like, oh my god, I met the president, you should totally go to their club meetings and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I wasn't too interested because I didn't personally know what this organization was about until I willingly also went to their booth during the activities fair. And I actually met the person that met my mom. He was like, yeah, I remember you. So yeah, they basically made sure that I stayed in SHPE, and I consider that person one of my closest mentors. So that's just how I ended up joining.
So yeah, how I ended up in NSBE was I actually found out about NSBE the summer before coming to RPI. I was just looking up any organization that was Black, any organization that was professional, trying to get in somewhere to get my feet going. So I had that goal since before coming into RPI, and when I did, when you realize the NSBE family, like, it really welcomes you very gratefully. So it really we clicked off that, and you'll, like, if all of us, if you come on campus and you see us, we're gonna act like we already know you. We're gonna be your best friends. So that's what this organization was to me, and that's why I'm still in it, and that's why I continue to be in it.
So unlike Jalen, I didn't know a lick about what NSBE was before I came to RPI. One of my friends actually just grabbed me. He said, "Hey, you should pop out to the club." And I came, and from then on, I stuck through it. Just that sense of family, of everyone that's around you, that's Black, and is really just trying to move on to bigger and better things, academically, professionally, in terms of the volunteering opportunities. There's just so many opportunities that are available through NSBE. So that's definitely the reason why I've stuck through NSBE for sure. I'm also the professional development chair. Forgot to mention that earlier.
So Robert vanished for a little bit. We'll get his input once he reappears. But the next question is, how has your organization supported you during your time at RPI? And anyone can start for this one.
I guess I'll run down the list again. So, for my first year, I would say SHPE helped me so much. Again, I'm a first year's generation student. So, college is a new thing to me, especially RPI. It gets pretty tough sometimes. But there's so many options and support from the people in SHPE. There's things like back work that can help you on exams. They also have the SHPE mentors and SHPE mentees. I was one of the mentees for last year, and I got a lot of help from everyone there. I met a lot of upperclassmen, and they just guided me through my first year. And I don't think I would have been able to be as successful without SHPE. Yeah.
Awesome. For me, the way SHPE supported me was a lot of the professional skills. Coming in as just a sophomore, I was always looking for any opportunities like internships and such. And, we put on GBMs specific for professional skills like resume building, how to recruit your pitch and such. And so those are those kind of skills help me talk to recruiters and making the first impression on them, and it allowed you to run into internship with the employee that I'm currently interning now. As a return, it was and also the career that has been SHPE on really helpful, very supportive, very great, and it's pretty cool that it also was on it like that. And a lot of companies come in and you get to talk to them, connect them, connect with them on LinkedIn, and making a good connection to them, even on a personal level, is really cool.
I'm very similar as well. My classes, my secretary student, I run resume for college, very, very good lists. Chef Freshman representative position, but I highly recommend you guys all look into it because it's really a good opportunity for you to grow the board freshman class. And I would like to know you have kind of been right and president of the later like that your way was horrible but let me help you out how to build it. So it really kind of help you build on your professional skills that you may not have you.
So how they have helped me. I'll say how it worked in the most way. I'll say they definitely have leadership skills and to get a organization where you can utilize all your talents and build on your weaknesses, build on your strengths, utilize those. You're not fully having that college experience. Your college experience is one, your academics, maybe your interests, whatever extracurriculars you want to get involved in, and your collaboration with others, and definitely how you express yourself as a leader. So NSBE was the gap between all things academic and all things other. So I was really able to learn what type of leader I was, what type of person I was, what skills I had, communication, time management, planning, all these things I didn't realize about myself until I joined NSBE. And now I look at the road I've taken from freshman year to now, and I really wouldn't be the same person without NSBE. And I keep saying that to a lot of people that want to join NSBE. Like, if you utilize yourself and commit yourself to that organization, it's going to give you back the same things that you put in. So whatever you put in, you're going to get 10 times fold that back.
Yeah, it's definitely a great point. I could say that NSBE's helped me from the very first day I walked in. Just some of the older students were immediately quick to just tell me what classes to take, what classes not to take. But more recently, NSBE's gotten me my internship that I actually have right now over the summer with GE Aviation. NSBE's given me the leadership skills that I've needed through being a professional development chair, through all of the different workshops that I've hosted. And more often than that, it's given me the leadership skills to be able to know how to interact with individuals on a broad basis, whether it's just within my e-board or whether it comes to hosting events for kids to learn about engineering and STEM and all of that. So I would definitely say that the leadership aspect, minus the internship that it gave me as well, are definitely one of the two biggest key points that I've kind of had from NSBE.
Since I was having like connectivity issues, I'll answer your previous question as well.
Great answers. So the
I was
next
able
one
to
I'm
find out
going to
about
direct
NSBE. I was fortunate enough to know about the organization in
Jalen
high school.
and
Since I knew I wanted to
Galilea.
be an engineer since I was really young.
Basically,
I
are you
had
able to
parents, family,
join?
friends, teachers
Is
say,
someone able to
"Oh,
join your
when you should
organization
go to
if they are
college,
not
like you should
an
join NSBE."
engineer or they do not
And I was
identify
like,
as
"Oh,
Black
okay." Like it
or
can't be that big of a
Latinx
deal.
or
And I got to
Hispanic?
college, and I was like, and I did some research. And I
Jalen,
looked
I'll
at
let you go
the general
first
body
since
meetings that NSBE had, and I
you
was like,
want
"Oh,
to say.
Well, quick
it's a pretty,
answer: yes,
a
yes,
cool group
yes,
of kids."
yes.
And as I get more involved, and I
That's why
realized that I
Black
made the right
engineers
decision.
on a national level
In answering this
and
question, I realized that
definitely
NSBE has helped
on
me
the
a lot in the
RPI
sense
level.
that I believe that my
very
experience
inclusive
RPI
of
is a great
anyone,
place to meet all these people from across the country
and
who are aspiring to
that's
be
how it's
engineers,
always been. That's
scientists,
how
and
it
so
always will
on.
be.
But
We've had
dealing with
different
people who
races
doubt
in
your
our
credentials
organization,
as a Black student,
so that wouldn't be a problem at all. For the School of Science, again,
dealing with microaggressions,
that is
dealing
also,
with people who don't
even on
really
national
belong,
level,
who don't
included
really belong
into
there,
our
can be frustrating.
organization.
And it's
I could go
not just
into
being an engineer that I
different
also really like being
technical
an NSBE. It's also
situations where it comes
being
in
in a
as
group of
far
people
as
who understand what you're
being able
going
to have
through and
certain
realizing that
and
it's
such,
not
but
just
you actually can like look that up
you're not
technical
alone.
bylaw
And
type
I've
of things.
also, in addition, I've been
But
able to
in a
develop
general
my
sense, it doesn't matter what
skills,
major you
like
have to be
went up
involved.
over the course of being
This
an
is an
NSBE
organization
member.
that is for
And I can also
the professional
argue
development
that
and
it's helped me
academic
professionally
excellence and
in the
cultural
sense that
awareness
through the career fair, I
of
was able to
Black
get my
people
current internship
and
this
our
summer
allies.
as a construction intern through
So
Stadium Smith.
that has
And
no
socially,
face to
it's
race
definitely
or
helped me meet
major.
a lot more
So
people that I wouldn't have known
you
before
will
through
still
classes
get a
and
lot
other
out
social
of it if you're
activities.
not an
I
engineer.
say that
Because
SB has helped me
business students, you can still
socially,
be part
professionally,
of
academically, and I really feel
engineering
that
company, and we still have those
as Jalen
connections
said, I
for you.
wouldn't be the same person
There's many different ways
I
you
would
can
be
get
if it wasn't
involved,
for
no
the
matter what major you have, in the general sense. Anyone else want to, anything I missed there to catch up on that?
Galilea. Sorry. Thank you. The next one I'm going to direct to Alexis, since you have just been most recently a freshman than the rest of us. How have you found your organization to be active on campus? What events have you attended? Have they been useful to you? Things like that.
Yeah, so SHPE in general is pretty, I guess, active in the community. Some things that I can name off. There's one thing pretty memorable. In the dining halls, especially Commons, there was one event we did where we were able to get some food from our culture, specifically Hispanic, on the menu, and it was fully student run, cooperated with the people from Sodex and stuff. But in general, we were able to provide that sort of sense of, I guess, feeling from home with food. And we were able to give that to pretty much everyone in the dining hall, in Commons specifically. So that was pretty fun. There's also the career fair with NSBE and SHPE. Fortunately, I was able to go, even though it is pretty intimidating as a freshman. Again, my resume was pretty bad after I had people review it. But I'm thankful that I was able to go. I got a sense of, what recruiters were looking for, and the companies that I should be on the lookout. So there's that, and then as Galileo mentioned, there's also the end of the year holiday event where different orgs come together and we just eat food from different cultures and have fun. So overall, it's just very supportive events that give you a sense of home or some comfortableness. Being in a predominantly white college, it's just nice having those moments with other people.
Thank you, Alexis. And then Robert, do you want to answer the NSBE side of that question, like what activities we do and how to be involved? Thank you, Robert. So we're going to do some professional questions now. Even though Galileo and Jalen just spoke, I'll do Galileo since you are co-director of the career fair this year. Can you explain what is the career fair and what do both organizations contribute to the career fair?
I can, from my experience from being a NSBE member for the past 2 years, I can argue that it is a very active organization, almost too active in some situations. So we have general body meetings. During the school, we have general body meetings every Thursday from 6 to 7, every other week, and it's something that I really look forward to, especially during classes, say for exams, completing research. So that's something that many NSBE members look forward to. We have weekly study jams usually on Wednesdays from 7 to 9, where students can get together, can collaborate to see who's in the same class as them, and you can meet and help yourself academically. But I would say outside of study jams and general body meetings, there are events that NSBE students do attend and do plan. Let's see. Well, we have posted events on our own, but we also have collaborated with other organizations, whether it be for outside events or general body meetings, such as SHPE and other affinity organizations on campus. So from my experience, I can really say that I've never really been bored with being in NSBE, and I've never really wanted to attend more events. There's always been events that have been available for me whenever especially when I'm stressed out. If I come back from an exam, if I want to take a break from homework, and etc. I do believe it's a great outlet to express yourself and meet other people.
Thank you, Galilea. Next question, I'll ask about conferences. So like expanding your network. I'll ask Mahmood, you've been to a NSBE conference, and then anyone from SHPE who's been to your SHPE regional or national conferences can speak on that as well.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out a little bit on my end, but if I understood correctly, you just want me to talk about the conference in general. Then yeah, I could definitely do that. So, you know, as you guys just heard, NSBE and SHPE, we have our own career fair as well. But outside of that, there is the Fall Regional Career Fair, and there is the national level conference as well. So I attended the fall conference, and I actually want to tell you guys about my own personal experience. You know, at the time I was a sophomore. I wasn't that professionally developed at the time, and I left the event with a lot of rejections from companies. But that's not all I left with. You know, there are so many professional development events there. I got to talk to recruiters one-on-one and just get the insights on how to get an internship and how to improve my resume and how to present myself to recruiters. So from that event, I learned so much. So when I was able to pull up to the national career fair, which was in Detroit, I ended up getting my position currently with my current internship. And you know, these career fairs aren't just you walk in, get a job, and kind of leave. It's a whole experience in itself. You're able to network with you know, people that look like you and I, just all around the U.S. I got to reconnect with some of my old friends, you know, just around the U.S. itself. And these recruiters, they're throwing great events for you guys. Think of Twitter, think of Facebook, think of Google. All these big companies are throwing really, really fun and engaging activities. Some might even call them parties.
Add on to that, just take it a scale back.
With the recruiters on a personal level.
These conferences
and just make the best out of the event.
In November and
in
March for NSBE.
I would definitely say so.
And what the RPI chapter does is it subsidizes your cost to go if you're a member. So if you're a leader in our organization, your cost will be greatly subsidized. If you're a general member interested in going, once you fill out an application, your price will again be subsidized. So it's an advantage of being a part of our chapter to go to these conferences. And I'll actually tie into Keena's question into this response, how to advance your professional network and community awareness, or excuse me, community outreach. So a conference is a great example of expanding your network. I don't know how many LinkedIn profiles, how many LinkedIn connections I've gotten at a conference. I'm almost at 500. I'm trying to get there. But also, there's a whole bunch of companies there. There's a whole bunch of professionals there. A whole bunch of other NSBE leaders there from other schools that can give you so much different insight on both engineering and Black culture and many things to do with your major and your institutions. So it's I would urge you to go to conference if you can afford it, and we'll subsidize the price as much as we can to make sure that you get an opportunity to go in one of your 4 years here at RPI, because it does give you a great chance to network with people and communicate and learn a whole bunch of new things, going to many different workshops that are presented at conference, because it's not just a career fair. You have workshops, you have leadership-led workshops by students, you have aerospace leaders in the industry, directors, Black CEOs. So if you want to if you want to go to entrepreneurship route, there's workshops there to teach you how to do that. There's people there to teach you how to do that. And I can speak the same thing about a SHPE conference. I know we haven't had SHPE speak on it yet, but NSBE and SHPE are very similar organizations, just to put it like that. And if you're Afro-Latinx, the decision is not that hard. Like you can choose either organization. They're both going to provide numerous resources for you, and they're both going to accept you as family. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're Afro Latinx. You don't have to choose either one. You can go to both. You can choose one. It doesn't matter. So you're both going to get a great experience out of it.
Has anyone on here?
I was just waiting if anyone else is going to go. But yeah, fortunately, again, I think as a freshman, I was very lucky to go in fall semester. Originally, I had no idea that there even was a SHPE national convention. Just a few upperclassmen told me that I should, I should try to, well, I should apply for it, and that would be a really good opportunity for me. And overall, the experience was, breathtaking, to say the least. I was able to interact with recruiters from different companies. I was able to, again, get with the whole, trip. The convention was held in Phoenix, Arizona, so I was able to get closer to people from SHPE as well. And then at the conference, again, I was able to meet recruiters. I was able to get my resume touched up. There was a workshop there where people from different companies actually reviewed your resume and they told you what you should improve on. In addition, there were other workshop events from companies where they maybe explain more so that you could become interested in their company. And just overall, it was just an amazing experience to develop your professionalism. I think as a freshman, I was very lucky. And if anyone is able to do it, who will go on join RPI next semester, I think they should do it for sure. It's just a really good experience.
Thank you, Alexis, Jalen, and Mahmood. Next one, I'm going to direct toward Brandon, since you are in charge of mentorship this year, and a question about time commitment of the organization. So what would you tell freshmen coming into SHPE, if they have to be super involved or they can show up a couple times, can speak about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It all really depends on you and how much you really want to put forth with your involvement within an organization. Initially, when I came in with a SHPE, I wasn't really too involved. I was very new to the organization. I really want to get to know the organization very well and see what opportunities they have. And then I was like, okay, I really like this organization. I really like the people. And so I just ended up being the web chair committee, where it was in charge of the SHPE website. The time commitment on that was, even as the chair coming in, it was not as much as a time commitment, maybe 2 to 3 hours a week, depending on whatever my higher up, whoever was on the e-board, would need me to do. Sometimes but at most it was like 2 to 3 hours. But most of the time I was only doing small little assignments that would probably take me 30 minutes or such, more or less. But since now I am currently the mentorship chair, and I'm the second. This is my second time being so. Last year I was as well. There was a transition from the internal secretary, sort of taking down that position and having someone else come in and take over and creating a new committee out of that. And I was the very first one to get that started. Of course, with that transition, there was always something new. Any points that we had to come up with and create a new committee that would be successful for the rest of the semester, even for the whole entire year. And of course, that took a bit of time, but when you have a team together and when you have an e-board to look up to, you most definitely will absolutely get your job done in a timely manner, and most definitely may not even need too much time to get done. Of course, being organized, making sure you're managing your time along with schoolwork and your extracurriculars, you'll be able to successfully complete any task. Of course, just be sure you save some time for yourself. You always need to have some time for yourself and to have fun, self-care, be with friends, go off campus, take a walk or anything like that. So of course, it really depends on how much you want to put forth.
Thank you, Brandon. So
And,
this
course,
one's
the
more
type
of
position for which
a
you take.
personal, I don't know, you as an individual question. How did you choose your major? If maybe your organization helped you choose your major later on or figure out what your career path wanted to be. You guys can jump in or go down the list on the slides, either way.
I can answer it if that's okay to hear. As you can see on the slide, I'm a civil engineering major, and
Anyone else want to jump in on
I
that
wouldn't
one?
really say in my personal experience, this may not be for everyone. That NSBE really didn't determine what my major was, but it more solidified what I was interested in.
So
growing up, I've always
Okay.
had an interest in
I
infrastructure,
was actually
We're
buildings,
undeclared
gonna
at
move
the
on
start
to
and how like they
my
another.
came to
freshman
be,
year.
Wait.
and sort
Only
of like
until
what they
second
were.
semester I declared
But I was sort of
mechanical
torn
engineering.
on majors that were similar to civil
To
engineering,
be honest,
such as urban
engineering
planning,
was like my
architecture,
number 2 choice.
construction management, and so on.
With like
But the reason
financing, I
why
kind of had to go to RPI.
I chose civil engineering
but I don't regret it.
before college
But anyway,
was in the
so yeah, I
sense
came in
that I
undeclared.
realized that with
I
the
was
other majors, I
unsure
would have
which
gotten a
engineering.
more creative
I had an
aspect
idea
of infrastructure in
maybe
cities,
mechanical or
but I realized that
electrical,
civil engineering
but I
really
didn't really
teaches the
know
why
what the main differences
of
were.
it really teaches
and for
the
one
why
thing, I
and
think
how
SHPE
infrastructure
helped me
functions.
in the sense
And one thing
that I got an idea
I
of
would say
what
coming to
those
college is
majors
like
would look
being
like in
in
the
NSBE
future in
helped
terms
really
of
solidify that in the sense
getting
that
hired by a
I met
company
other
or
civil
what
engineering
job I would
professionals
have with
who
that major.
detail their experiences
And then
within the
ultimately,
profession
what
and being
made
in
my
NSBE.
decision was
And
taking a few of the
in my
mechanical
personal
engineering
opinion,
classes
I
in the spring
believe
semester.
that I made the right choice in the sense that civil
You guys are going
engineering,
to take a class
since my
called CAD if you're
experience
doing
is
mechanical engineering.
just being an engineering major in general,
and that's
you're more
kind of what
marketable to
piqued my
recruiters.
interest, and then I decided that
You're
I
more
wanted to
marketable to
continue doing
companies
that
in general.
major.
So that's just
So I
I think
declared
that really
mechanical
gave me
engineering.
an experience that I probably wouldn't have gotten from other majors.
Yeah.
But again, NSBE didn't really choose my major, just solidifying like why I made the right decision.
I guess I can also elaborate. I see a question about what made me interested in engineering as well. So I guess I'll answer that first. So, I kind of had a more basic entryway into engineering. I kind of just had that really cool uncle that I saw as my role model growing up, and he was an electrical engineer. So, growing up, I'd always copy him everything he did, and I was like, hey, let me just check out what this electrical engineering is that he's always talking about. And so through high school, I was able to join some of my clubs, Vex Robotics. And once I got my foot into the door with electrical engineering, I knew that was for me. In terms of how that's helped me in NSBE, I would say it's put me on to, some of the older students who were able to guide me within my major, kind of help me figure out which programs I should join, which classes to take, like I said previously. And more than that, it's helped me give back to the community. For example, I was able to co-host an event through the technical outreach program through NSBE for little kids to learn about electrical engineering through actually hosting it was an Arduino workshop where we were able to teach kids how to create a pulse sensor using Arduino. So I was able to give back to the community as well as taking things in for myself.
If I can add on to that, recognize that we all are in different positions in how we got into engineering, but in a general sense, we probably can say that coming into your freshman year, taking those introductory courses, some of those rigorous introductory courses, it could kind of deter you from thinking, hey, is this the major I want to be in? And that may not be the case for everyone, but I'm sure that's a commonality between a lot of us. So that's why I encourage you to speak to upperclassmen, ask them what internships they've gotten into, ask them what careers they want to look forward to. Speak to your professors. Ask your professors what their previous experience is. Why do they teach this subject? Why are they so passionate about that subject? What industries did they work into before they started teaching? Those types of questions can instill in you some sort of reason or passion for why you're in the major that you're in, because through RPI's rigorous academia, you're going to need a passion, a reason, or goal for why you're in that major, to stay in that. That's the key to success when you want to have that. Your goal could be just money. I'm sure that's the case for some of us. The goal could be just money, where, hey, I'm in the engineering field because that's where the bag is. That's fine as long as that goal is strong enough for you to stay in that major for your whole time at RPI. But I'll tell you, to conclude, RPI would definitely test you in what you want to do with your life. It would definitely test you. So speaking to upperclassmen, you should start doing that off bat. Speaking to professors, do it off bat. Do your research. And I know some of you guys are mechanical engineering in there. I'm a mechanical engineering major. That is one of the more broad engineering majors, I would say, because you can go into any industry with that major. Same with industrial management engineering. I know some of you guys are in that as well. You can go into any industry with that. So you can apply that to anything you're interested in. So especially in your freshman year, don't get too, I guess, overstressed about it, because there's also many of us that have changed our major in our sophomore years, and are still on track to graduate. So don't stress too much about it, but definitely speak to us, because we've all had different job opportunities and insight on why we chose what we're doing. And personally, I am very happy with where I'm at as far as mechanical engineering and design, innovation, and society.
Anyone else want to speak on that topic? If not, we can move on to another question. We'll do advice right towards the end. We have about 15 minutes left. There's one question that came in earlier, is what do the NSBE and SHPE groups do other than be a center for minorities in the engineering field? So I'll just start doing this and then I'll let someone else take over. That we do have like other projects focusing on community outreach and moving away from just professional and social events, but events that let us reach out into the community and kind of inspire.
Actually, Galilea, I would like you
to become engineers and come join our organization. So if anyone wants to expand on
what
that,
SHPE does in New York
free.
City every year, or at least with your junior students.
And going along with that, if I may just add, as the mentorship chair, SHPE has a committee called Mentorship where we allow first year students to come in and perhaps connect with people, upperclassmen, and be their mentees, and have a mentor to sort of have like a connection throughout your career at RPI. And so SHPE, NSBE, and URM are collaborating with each other to sort of form this community for mentors and mentees. And so we are looking for mentees, or for anyone who's interested to have a mentor for this fall. Applications should be coming out soon for mentees. And we know it's a very fun time. And for mentorship, what we do is we put on events throughout the fall semester. Last year we had game nights. We had a de-stressor for finals. We went apple picking. We also went ice skating. All this, of course, before COVID and everything like that. And I think if COVID weren't to happen, we were going to have Easter egg hunting, and as well as many more events as well. It's a great opportunity to sort of connect and just be together, even with other mentor-mentee pairs, and just to have fun and just to really chill out. And it has nothing to really do with anything academics. It's all really social and casual. And we really hope to see you coming in or become interested as
Thank you, Brandon and Galilei. I think Galilei, you expanded to
and
NSBE too, so you hit that one from both sides. There are a lot of admissions questions. So if you guys have admissions questions, I work for admissions, so I will put the admission officer email and the admissions ambassador email as well if you want any like general RPI admissions questions. And then I think we're going to go into the advice portion. Every webinar always ends with some good advice. So we have, what advice do you have for high school students? If you would give like a piece of advice to a high school student, how would they be successful at RPI? And we won't go down the list again. I will start with Mahmood and then we'll go to Alexis. Everyone can speak on it.
Sure. I'll answer the second question, actually. What advice would you give to students to become successful at RPI? Some of the things that we kind of fall prey to when we come to RPI is just to focus on academics, and that's it, right? But as Jalen hinted on earlier, it's really not just strictly about academics. So one thing that I would recommend you guys do right when you come to RPI is start to develop yourself professionally. And through NSBE and SHPE, you'll definitely have a lot of support in doing that. But get a head start on your LinkedIn profile. Get a head start on your resume. Start applying to internships right after your freshman year. There are freshmen that get internships and co-ops right after their freshman year. Well. So
I guess
that's my advice
just
from a
be
professional
open
development
to
kind of standpoint.
interact with people, from anywhere. Be ready to get involved. Sort of step outside of your bubble if you're sort of scared to know people, because in the end, it really will help you getting to meet people from different organizations, different clubs. It'll all come together in helping you succeed at RPI. You have a ton of friends from different orgs and stuff that may ultimately help you if you need something, or it's just nice getting out there and being involved in different things. That way, it's not just academics, and you might. It's just nice being able to get out there. Yeah.
Next, we'll do Robert and Galilea, your pieces of advice.
Again, I was having issues like connecting. Is it like for high schoolers, like how to succeed at RPI? What's the question?
Any advice for high
got
school
it.
students,
I would
incoming
say
students,
for
how to be
incoming
successful at RPI?
I would say don't let your GPA and your first semester grades discourage you. From my experience and other students' experiences, it's like, oh, it can't be that bad. and then like you get your first transcript back, and it's like, oh my god, because it's like for a lot of students, it's probably some of the lowest grades you like personally I've ever seen, since I've never had like grades like that in high school. It was definitely a shock. And then what happens for some people second semester is they start freaking out on academics, and they only focus on that. I would just say, don't be afraid to take a break. Academics is important too, but what I found out is that you'll do much better if you balance your academic, social, and professionalism. So I would say do study as well, but don't be afraid to go out. Go out to downtown Troy. There's a lot of places you can eat where the food is really good. I'd probably say that's the best part about downtown Troy. I would say if you can't go to some of the malls, there's a lot of malls in the capital region. If you like if you like hiking, outdoor activities, you can do that. You have an option. And for professionalism, don't be afraid to join NSBE and SHPE. I'd also say, again, as Mahmoud said, don't be afraid to apply for internships in your freshman year. There are a decent amount of freshmen who do the internships after their first year. And one thing I've learned, like with being in a professional environment, is there's a lot more students in your situation than you think you are. You don't exist like solely in a vacuum. Like there's tons of other students who are experiencing the same thing you're experiencing. It's just that you need to dig a bit deeper to find it. And I would say for high school, especially for your last year applying to like RP, I would say you don't have to know, like I would say when it comes to like choosing a career or choosing your major, you don't have to know that, as mentioned before. And then again, like don't be afraid to learn more about RPI. There's a lot of opportunities here, especially I feel that I definitely overlooked, especially when I was applying. So I would say that's something that maybe I would highly encourage, especially when applying. But if you're an incoming student, just try to balance those three aspects as I mentioned, and I would say that's the best way to succeed. Don't focus just on one to neglect the other two. I've definitely suffered because of that. So I would probably say that's my advice that I can give.
Sure. Yeah, Galileo hit it on the nail there, because a lot of us coming into RPI had
And then last pieces of
either
advice, Jalen,
easy
and then
high school
Brandon, and
experience,
then we'll wrap it up.
or a very successful high school experience, or some level of that, which is evidently true because you got into RPI. So don't think that your high school habits are going to work in college. I know for me in high school, I would literally do my work at 9 p.m. I'll start at 9 p.m. I'll start my homework at 9 p.m., finish at 10:30, and it's a regular day. And in the same way, I would do everything by myself. I didn't really need much help in high school. I was like, look at my transcript, I'll be fine. Then when I got to RPI, I'm like, wow, this is taking me 10 hours and I'm on the same assignment. That's a problem. I'd eventually figure it out because I always like same with Galilea. My head is like functions like, hey, I'm gonna figure it out. I don't care what you tell me, I'm gonna figure it out no matter what. I don't care how hard it is, I'm gonna figure it out. But at RPI, when time management is a very key skill, even if you can figure it out on your own, just don't. Like in some cases, that is proper to do. If a test is coming up, you want to know the subject yourself. But from a sense of time, shouldn't it be better to have a study group to work with so that you can get it done a little faster, so that you can understand it a little faster, get all the perspectives, rather than having to go through everything by yourself? And I was an athlete my freshman year. I was on the football team, and my time was very limited because of that. But still, I didn't go out and get help from anyone really. So I would say I had time for everything but sleep. So freshman year, I rarely slept. And at first, that really wasn't even a problem for me. But as you keep on going on to that, going to the spring semester, going through these tougher classes, it eventually will become definitely a big problem for you. So again, I would just conclude with, don't use your same high school study habits. Learn new ones, learn ones that adapt for RPI. You can speak to us on how those should be, speak to professors on how those should be, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because that's a mistake that a lot of us probably made. And even we know you're mad smart. I'm talking to you. I know you're mad smart, but always never be afraid to ask for help.